morning. It is March 32, 2025, aka April 1st. No, no April Fools today, but we'll be talking about a whole stream of unscripted thoughts, leading off with how I organize live action business case studies, which is one off the top of my head, is the flagship live action business case study 1451 Overstock, now Bed Bath and Beyond. It's important because there was a short squeeze that the founder was able to countermeasure. This is incredibly fascinating because it launched 8 other countermeasures to when your company is getting short seller enrichment commissioned off the face of stock markets. SEC, short seller enrichment commission. LABCS 1459 is us attempting to save ourselves. Saving ourselves mentally by being brain healthy. By saying brain healthy, what I mean is mental health done in a collaborative way. Mental health done in a entrepreneurship path type of manner, where we go from regular health to super mentally healthy, where we get better at the mental side of entrepreneurship. I got it from baseball. It's 60% mental and mostly mental. But then why don't we spend effort on the mental side of baseball, where if it's absolutely true that 80% of the game is mental, why are we spending 0% of our practice time trying to get better at the mental side of entrepreneurship, the mental side of athletics, the mental side of living, where if we're focused on just our to-do list or our goals, do we spend time on the softer skills of the mental side of our morning routine? This is a couple of ways to increase the health of our brain. I'll go over 2 simple ones. 1, you've heard of trying to brush your teeth with your opposite hand, correct? Do you do that? Do you try to think through things right-handed if you are left-handed? And so that's something that we can potentially play with in talking about mental health. Have you ever tried to write something left-handed? You know those children's books where they teach you how to print and they teach you to write your ABCs? You can use one of those reusable books to write with your opposite hand. In athletics at higher levels, we talk about equal and opposite. So this is just stuff that helps you activate the other side of your brain, not to tease you with Joe Dispenza content. Now that I have teased you with it, let's explore it. It's left brain and right brain. And so when we only do right-handed activities, or if you're left-handed and you're massively left-handed, then you can win at mental health. Why? Because now you're able to use both hemispheres of your brain, and what we're doing is we're trying to get elasticity and pliability into our brain. And so that's what we're potentially exercising when we do something as silly as Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, something as silly as Sunrise video series, where in the structure of Sunrise videos, we talk about topic to topic. Today's an unscripted live stream. Another topic which I had a conversation about earlier, which is, what do you dream about? Do you have a dream journal? Do you journal? What if you are dreaming of things that are in preparation for your upcoming day? Do you track and try to program and code your dreams? Because once you realize that your brain can be programmed, you can program yourself versus allowing algorithms to program us or ourselves, because there are default mentors in this world. And this topic is flowing from dreams to mentors to default mentors. So typically, the structure of mentorship in a traditional sense, which may not be traditional for you because I've studied this, this is a window into mentorship. There's a superstar mentor. That's a celebrity mentor who's helping you go from your current level to a stratospheric level. That's a superstar mentor. Cohort mentor is your 2, 3, or 5 friends that are in your mastermind group that are achieving those same goals. You keep each other accountable. They are your cohort mentor. Default mentor or junior mentor. Junior mentor is a person who's relatively new to your group and might be a couple years younger than you. Default mentor is a person who might be pulling you down because they're your mentor by default. And this is in the structure of your dreams. This matters because it's crabs in a pot. This affects you because once you categorize the different mentors, are your cohort mentors cheering you on towards your superstar mentor? Do you have, dare I say, a book club where you're connecting with concepts that authors are presenting to your group? Are we in a situation now where we don't have cohesive friend groups that springboard us towards goals? Because that's the challenge of IRL friendships, and that's also the challenge of existing in an economic situation that is incredibly volatile. Will your dreams be interrupted? Will your mental state become frazzled? How do we self-improve when other people are in a state of disarray? Do we become vulnerable to mental attacks? How do we stay mentally healthy? This got deep all of a sudden, but this is meant to be unscripted, whereas the last 14 days of Sunrise videos, it's been incredibly scripted because I've tried to do the repetition of 1 through 20 for eager novices gaining revenue. ENGR 145, eager novices gaining revenue of $145, where it's 20 efforts to get people their first $145. And the feedback that I get from that has been incredibly insightful and helpful also to me. Here are some new things that I gathered while doing research for tech sales dash higher levels. One, Eric Finch is now my mentor, whereas my YouTube is incredibly buckshot and spray. His channel, Tech Sales Dash Higher Levels, is newer than mine, yet has 23,000 more subscribers. Why? Because his effort with Chris has been incredibly specific. It's incredibly focused, where he's meeting you, Eric and Chris, they're meeting you at a level that you're at and then propelling you 2 or 3 levels higher using technical sales. It's Eric Finch and his business partner Chris, with another business partner coming on. I learned from the preparation of going on their tech sales podcast with practicing structure and going through student athlete reps for technical sales. That's what they don't teach you at YC. Whereas we can become better at our YouTube outreach. We can be better at our X Twitter notes. We can be better at live action business case studies. Because what is a startup? What is a baby corporation? What is our time together? It's really entrepreneurship, and playing in entrepreneurship at our job. Remember, if we're working at a job, we're doing intrapreneurship, which is just being an entrepreneur, realizing that every person is an individual contributor. Every person is a business of you incorporated. And the opportunity that we have to connect is via thinking about things entrepreneurially while we side hustle and side quest tasks that are playful and outside of our own comfort zones. This is also what I've learned, is email as a base layer for entrepreneurship. I hate email. I like texting, but email has a renewed space in my business array of execution, and that is this. Email published post, email networking, and starting a business based on email. 2 people did this prior, and this triggered my thoughts for doing an email-based business as a side hustle, and that is this. Craigslist, Craig Newmark started it as an email-based business. Ditto Ryan Hoover at Product Hunt, starting his business as a email newsletter-based business. Now, why is this incredibly unpopular and mentally hurtful? Why? Because email is so easy, and we've been able to get so many email addresses that we kind of just see it all as a giant mountain of junk, where we don't open our own email. We go from inbox crush to inbox crush with a lack of enthusiasm. And now we're going to have to jump into that email hellhole and create a business out of it. Sort of. This is a thing that I've been playing with, which is a cadaver of Gary Tan's Posterous and the leftover dead entity of Postly, which is, can you email a post to then publish? can you email publish a post? This is Posterous. This company is actually bought by Twitter and then later subsequently shut down. And so, is this a restart, reboot, and editing of a cadaver? Yes. What better way to practice entrepreneurship than to practice on something that is completely dead, right? Completely just practicing on a cadaver. Where did I get this concept from? I got it from med school. You don't get to operate on grandma right out of the chute. You don't get to operate on a brand new baby right away. Yet that's the current state of entrepreneurship, is practicing on live financial entities that very much could die if you screw it up. That's where editing a cadaver comes in, which is us practicing on something that is dead. In this case, it's Posterous / Postly. What we're talking about is just a random slew of morning things that are semi-unscripted. We earlier talked about dreaming, we talked about becoming slightly more mentally healthy, and we answered some input, which is we dealt with trolls. Not trolls, we just dealt with people that wanted to chip in fashion sense and fashion expertise. So people have ideas, and we have an ability to listen or not listen to ideas. Unscripted, also with live action business case study 1451, which is Bed Bath & Beyond, which is an edit also of a cadaver that short sellers had left for dead. Live action business case study 1451 is the overstock rescued from the grips of near bankruptcy by this CEO named Patrick. LABCS 1451, overstock. The founder was Patrick Byrne, and now being run by the camping gear salesperson who's turned it into Bed Bath & Beyond. What do you guys want to talk about? This is unscripted day. We can cover anything you guys want to talk about. Hydration, brain health, base layer topics, trying to do things that are equal and opposite, where we're going from using opposite sides of our brain as we use opposite strong hand, such as brushing your teeth, such as throwing a baseball, such as going from being left-handed to doing things that are right-handed. How are you guys with reading books? Have you been able to do 2 to 5 pages? Reading books right now is the biggest cheat code, because what you're doing is compressing time. When even the topic of reading books is brought up, there is so much pain because most people can't read. In fact, a YouTube video that's incredibly helpful before we try to read is how to watch a YouTube video. When we watch a YouTube video in a reading comprehension type of way, what we're doing is we're wrangling our own brain to be slightly better. Because let's say some of these issues are helpful to you, I really recommend you share the value that you're getting from this video with a friend so that way you can study together with each other. When you promote free content, that does not just help the algorithm for my distribution, it helps with how you're promoting a positive thing to your friend that is also $0. Because when you gain a chunk of knowledge, which is how to watch a YouTube video, you lock it in by sharing it with a acquaintance or perhaps somebody that you just met, saying, look, what do you think about getting slightly better using this sunrise video series, where we take the day 34 and day 35 of the 23 days of OpenAI, and we get better using day 13, day number 1, and day number 34. Get it? Because that's April 5 and 6 with an author who's going to be presenting at the JW Marriott. So what we're doing is we're co-founding a YouTube study group. We're co-founding a mastermind while we get better from video to video, because now we gain a lot of confidence in, hey, let's try to interview this YouTube influencer. Let's try to go from YouTube content consumer to YouTube video remixer. Remember, I'm not saying go full boat and be a YouTube content creator, but initially trying to remix one video, which is editing an entire video into what did I learn from this video. You guys, it's been great spending time with you. It's been well over 20 minutes, which went super fast. Our ability to review, recap, and PQRST content is directly correlated to how well we watch YouTube videos for financial gain, how we read a book for financial gain. Something I want to do in the future is take an existing article and say, can you read and reread this in order to make $80,000?